Hello and welcome. My name is Promise Sodera Onu, and I've been meaning to do this live for the longest time, but I've been busy. But today, let's get to it. I want to lay a foundation to today's topic. Nigeria, which is always our focus on this page, is passing through the biggest turmoil. As of today, £1 is equal to 1,150 naira, if not more. Even Buhari was better than the present administration. And all things being equal, let's just say that it was not their intention to make the naira even weaker. Possibly they wanted to make it stronger by making the whole exchange market to be equal in terms of how much the bank changes rates, and the black market or anybody to just respond based on market demand, and also removing subsidy. But what is very important for all of us to understand is that Nigeria is a complex economy. Nigeria is not as easy as some people think, especially when you are outside the corridors of power. You probably think it's a walk in the park, and then when you get into office, you will suddenly realize that there are so many factors and a lot of challenges and hurdles to pass through, and things that you have to consider, variables that has to be included in your policies. And these things can really affect the output and the results of policies. So what I'm trying to say is that I'm trying to give Tinubu and APC the benefit of the doubt that they have good motives or intentions for Nigeria, but it's simply not working out. Now, that said, what exactly is the main issue with Nigeria? You could think left, think right, call about millions of issues we have. But what is the foundational, the grassroots of our problem? The grassroots of our problem in Nigeria, why everything we are doing seems to be pouring water on the rock, is corruption. Now, I do Uber as well. You guys know I do many things. And since I started Uber, my life has been to learn every day. So depending on who I'm carrying and the atmosphere, their mood and everything, I can engage in very insightful conversations. And sometimes I try to learn off people who are more knowledgeable than I am. So I carried this man and his wife, and apparently they are from South Africa. I didn't get to know until he told me. And he started telling me how he's worked in one of the more, multinational companies, and he was a top guy, and was in charge of mining in that particular organization. Now we started discussing Africa, the whole world politics, and how what Nigeria is doing, and he told me something interesting. Him and his wife, after we discussed and agreed on so many issues, about how South Africa is dealing, or even the president of South Africa is trying to deal with corruption. And he told me that there are two things that worked for them, which is the topic of this live. Number one is the free press, and number two reason is the free judiciary. Now, if you look at Nigeria's system, you will see that we don't have free press. So for starters, free press means free journalism. Power for anybody to investigate you and publish findings on you without fear of MBA, fear of DSS, fear of army, and fear of police, and even fear of the courts. Now, I have to include courts because sometimes they go to court just to justify the evil they are doing. Now, the other one is free judiciary, which means separating the judiciary or the the justice system of the country from the executive, so that our judges will not be appointed by our executive arm of government. Our attorney general will come through a different process, and there will be a little bit of demarcation between how the officials of the judiciary are being elected or appointed or come into office, away from the influence of what do you call it, the executive. Now, I want to take the happenings of the new administration to explain some things to you. The incumbent, which is APC, played a very important role in making sure they retain power, which is Buhari to Tinubu. Now, they also influence the umpire, which is INEC, because they appoint the chairman, Yakubu Mahmoud himself, the criminal, that averted all the mandate of the people to the wrong person, which is Tinubu. Now, they also appointed Ariniola, who is the Supreme Court Justice or the Chief Judge of the Federation. Also, the Attorney General is also under appointment from the executive. So there is nothing that is purely judicially elected or appointed. So we don't have free judiciary in Nigeria. Furthermore, even if the judiciary should go on and make a judgment that is contrary to the federal government or contrary to the incumbent party or the power or the party that is in power, they are not being respected. A very good example is Emefiele being allowed to go on bail, and then the next thing you see the DSS arresting him in the same court, even fighting with the officials of the what do you call it, customs, or sorry, is it customs or the prisons that they were fighting with, the officials they were fighting with that wanted to take him. So you get to see that there is a lot of entanglement between the judiciary and the executive. Now you come to the registration, you can say that the same executive, which is the president, single-handedly made sure that the Senate president, which is Akpabio, gets put in there. That means the executive have a lot of influence over the legislature, a lot of influence over the judiciary, and of course a lot of influence over the press, which is the MBA that they used to tell. So the other day, Channels was fined for just interviewing somebody. So in Nigeria, I mean that the free says it all the time that on radio there are things you cannot say. As a matter of fact, Nigeria banned Twitter, banned social media for a while. So we don't even have, very soon, we're not going to have freedom of speech in Nigeria. So as it is, we don't have free press. The only investigative journalist we have in Nigeria as we speak of today is David Hundeyin. Apart from David Hundeyin, no other body can confidently come and convince anybody. Oh, and Gistlover. The only problem with Gistlover is that Gistlover is not investigating political things. He's investigating celebrities and their escapades. Now, you see, if you want to hear news, you don't go to Channels. You don't go to AIT. The executive controls every damn thing, if you, my sister. So the South African man is telling me that I should go and read books on free press. That is how South Africa is copied. They've not actually arrived. But you see, Africa is the future. When I mean Africa is the future, Africa is the future. Africa is like, there's so many arable lands, there's so many minerals, there's so many, like there's population, there's so many fertile, there's good weather. So the whole mindset of investors, what I mean about investors, I'm talking about massive, like people on the very, very top of the pyramid, the top chain. But the only problem with their investment is all this insecurity, all this insurgency, and what the world is trying to go into now is what they call globalization, where the whole world will be seen as just one state or one village or one country, as you want to put it. And that's why now you can comfortably put a UK radio on and they are banging Afrobeat. The next minute they are banging reggae. The next minute they are banging Chinese music. They are banging Indian music. They are trying to give everybody a sense of belonging and globalize. Now there are people who are regarded as global citizens. There are people who can track, as far as you are rich, you have entrepreneur. See, you can get any visa of any country. No country will see that you want to make investment of, say, for example, $100 million in their country, and they will say they will not give you visa. That's a lie. Even Dubai. Because all they want to do, see, the whole world operates on money. Simple as that. Yeah, money gives you power. Of course, there's also political power, but the money gives you power. Now, you have the haves and the have-nots. Once you are rich, you are operating regardless of where you come from. You can be Pakistani, you can be Nigerian, you can be from Ghana. As far as you get to a particular level, you can speak to presidents of the world and you get listened to. You see these guys that went to see Titanic and they had implosion. Ned Nwoko, who is also a Nigerian, was invited to go there. The guys that went there are billionaires. So you can imagine Ned Nwoko is a black man, but he's getting invitation by billionaires that are white because they don't class you where you come from. As far as you have the dough, you can go into where they go in. You can spend money where they spend. Look at Wizkid. Wizkid on Saturday filled up Tottenham Stadium. These are numbers. So there's no place Wizkid will come in now and they will look down on Wizkid, even though he is a Nigerian black boy born in Nigeria. Nobody cares anymore. As a matter of fact, he is VIP regardless of wherever he finds himself, any room he finds himself. Another example, Tony Elumelu. Tony Elumelu was invited by the King of England in attendance with the President of America, and he is in no political position. And that is to tell you that as far as you come to a particular level in life, you can meet eye to eye or see eye to eye with any powerful man in the world. And that is what they call global citizens. You become a global citizen. You can stay in Nigeria and own properties. You can invest. There are Nigerians that own properties, that own businesses. As a matter of fact, there are some. So it is only us. When I mean us, now I'm trying to put myself in that bracket of the have-nots. It's only us on this level of the divide that think about passport. I am British. I am a Nigerian. I am this. These people, they don't think like that. Their thinking is different. In that level they're operating on, they could as well hold a Nigerian passport, but they will have diplomatic passport that can enter anywhere. Somebody like Peter Obi doesn't care about whatever he needs. Anywhere he wants to go, he goes. These guys have private jets. They are not going to the airline you are going to. They are not going to your business land you think you are rich and you can afford. They are not even going to your first class. They have their own private jet system that can answer them and respond to them with all their respect and everything. Go and watch rich, famous, and African, young African, and you will see the way they operate. All these people there, you will see they don't have limitations. They are not worried about visa. They will tell you, oh, I'm flying here with their private jet, red carpet, everything, all made up for them. So this guy, somebody like Davido, their face is visa. These guys don't have all those limitations. Regardless of their Niger as also, we are all Nigerians, so, but they are operating on a different realm. Now you come to England and you think UK is UK, but then you come and they tell you that an Israeli company owns a part of Camden Town, a whole town. Then you hear that a Nigerian owns this property, this property, this property. These are investments. So in their head, if you look at London, a lot of portions are owned by so-and-so person that might belong to this particular place or this billionaire that is from that country. So at the end of the day, the whole world is a globalized place. You come to the same Nigerian, your shipping company might be Israeli or might be Chinese or might be Russian or whatever. So there is a lot of interlinking of all these very powerful rich people. There are investments in different places. Are you getting me now? And that is how they all work, sit on the same table, sign agreements, discuss, go on conferences. They are operating on a different world level and world view and perspective of life, different from us. It's only us that think, oh, I want to go to Nigeria, I have to get visa, I have to do this one, I want to. You are operating below that level. Now, coming back to the point, what I wanted to clarify that is that you might be saying Nigeria, that Nigeria is us, is our country. Some people don't really care about Nigeria because they know they can go to America, they have a lot of investments there. They can go to UK, they have a lot of investment there. See all these celebrities, you're asking them questions, oh, where's the favorite place in the world? Oh, I love London. Or you see people where they live, and in their profile, they tell you they live in Nigeria, London, because they are everywhere. There are people in a year, they are probably visited about all the continents in the world. And anywhere they go, they own houses. The other day, Dele Momodu invited Peter Obi to his house. You see house, you see how clean it is. Those people don't worry what we worry. They can stay in Nigeria a whole year, they don't care. They are good. They are earning in pounds, they are earning in dollars, they are earning in euro. You think they are suffering like you? No, they are not. They are living their best lives. So coming back to the point, regardless of how poor you guys are in Nigeria, regardless of your suffering, some people do not see Nigeria the same way you see it, as your only country, or your only backbone, or your only survival place, or the only place that can claim you, or you can claim. Some people have sense of belonging with multiple countries of the world. They are global citizens. Otedola.copy said it like a few years ago. She gets invited to global citizens. These guys go on auctions and bid millions, and go and do philanthropic work, use their foundation to do. When Peter B was telling you he was going to Haiti, these guys are seeing the world on a different level. They have the passport to the world. They're not thinking what you are thinking. So, going back to the point, when you see that government don't really care about the poor masses, what do you then do? There are some presidents who love their country, regardless of how much investment. Like, for example, you look at the Emirates, right? The Emirati, the UAE. They probably own a lot of things outside Dubai or outside UAE, but they love UAE. They are making UAE a mega, super mega city. Come to London. They are making London. London is trying. British people are trying to make London a massive, like, there is always construction in London trying to make London even look better. So, yes, there might be rich people like Richard Branson, who owns a lot of businesses, everything, Virgin, telecommunications, transportations, everything. But they are also investing, and they know this is their country. Now, what we lack in Africa is that, yes, some people in Africa probably own these places everywhere. In fact, Abacha's roots have not even been recovered. Gaddafi's roots cannot even be quantified. There are some African leaders who have been the richest in the world, like the man from Congo, I've forgotten his name. All these people don't love their place. So because we don't love our own country, we belong to all these other economies, and then we die and lose all those things to them. So what we need to do is to develop love for where we come from. Or at least elect leaders that have a sense of love to where they come from. Now, check all our presidents. Most of them are lived abroad. Nothing wrong with that. Check all our governors. Most of them, their families are abroad. Nothing wrong with that. I am abroad myself. But what we are trying to say is that Peter Obi told you that he has only one passport. You can't say the same about Tinubu. Whether your passport expires or not, you've not denounced it. You have to denounce a citizenship to be able to say you're not a citizen of that place, whether you have passport or not. There are a lot of people in Britain who have not stayed or actually left Britain, even on a first holiday. There are a lot of Nigerians who have not flown out of Nigeria. They don't have passports. That does not make them not to be Nigerian. They are Nigerian by birth. So to say that your passport is expired and therefore you're not a man from Guinea is a lie. Because if the push comes to shove and you are going on exile, you easily go there. The other day, Ben Bruce was seen taking picture with the woman from what's her name, the former minister of petroleum, Diziani, right? Taking pictures with her. Now, Diziani have gone to a Caribbean country and claimed citizenship there. So these are things. They know they can easily leave the country, go elsewhere, and live a lavish life and never return. Some people, when they help some particular governments, those governments will promise them to go anywhere in the world and live, and they will do it for them, and they will forget their home country. There are a lot of people who have never or who will never return to their home country, and they don't care because they see the world as a global village. Now, that point made, let's go back to our point. What is obtainable in Nigeria? Remember, the South African man said that the current president of South Africa is trying to curb corruption. Now, because of the system in South Africa, they have free press and they have free judiciary. They are able to achieve that. In Nigeria, if you talk, you get taken. In fact, your organization will get fined. And if you continue, you will get sacked. I'm sure they find Arise, they find channels. The only one they want you to be watching is NTA. And NTA will never say some things. There is a massive underreported in Nigeria. Most of the updates we hear in Nigeria are updates from WhatsApp groups or people posting things on Facebook, like the kidnapping of the native doctor called Akwa in the East. All those things, you won't hear it on TV. You won't hear it on channels. The only thing that can possibly make channel is that they are calling on Samonepa to be, repatriated and stuff like that. But then Abba Kyari has been released from jail. So why are they not repatriating Abba Kyari to America? They want to go and bring Samonepa back from Finland, but they don't want to bring Abba Kyari to America. So these are the issues. So when we look at all these things in Nigeria, you'll find out that Nigeria is in a very, like there is no way Nigeria will work. I've said this many times. Now, we can get P2BO and start working on the constitution. But apart from that constitution being changed to work, the power is so much on the executive, on the central, on the president, that it is nearly impossible to do anything otherwise. Look at the ministerial list. I don't have anything against it. In fact, I'm happy that people like FFK, like MC Olomo, and Festus Keyamo are not on the list. I'm happy. But they said this is not an exhaustive list. There's a supplementary list coming. So they might still bring these guys. Because we know that Tinubu is a loyal guy. Once you do something for him, he will do something for you. He told Dave Umai to leave the issue of this thing. And he left it. Now he's made him minister. Wike fought for him. Gave him Port Harcourt and River State. He's made him minister. So we know his ministerial appointment is not for the progress of Nigeria, but because of how these rich people and the political class always want to retain power amongst themselves, he has appointed based on, political favor. And that's why you see a lot of people will see what is right, they will not do it because they want political career. They are thinking about after these 4 years, what next? After these 8 years, what next? Now, Wike, of course, fought Rotimi Amechi, who after doing governorship went to minister. And now he has left PDP, worked for APC, and now APC have appointed him to go and be a minister. That is futuristic plan. So his plan is where it's worked out for him. So now if you want to come into the politics of Nigeria as a young politician, you probably will think, do I follow the process of these great men, in quotes, or do I do the right thing? If you want to do the right thing like P2B, you will see where you end up. Although we've seen the likes of Alex Oti, who now has emerged governor, right? They've gone through different this thing. But even people like Peter Mba, who we are hoping on, look at what he's doing in Enugu State. How do you force people to stay at home? Abi, come and do open business. How do you force people? How do you possibly force people to come and open shops? And then somebody have died in that ordeal, and you are flooding the whole Enugu State with military. For how long are you going to flood them with military? How long? This thing has been going on for years. How long are you going to allow the military or the security personnel to be in Enugu? Are we even thinking sensibly? Do you guys understand what is ideological warfare? Do you think everything is about boots on ground? Do you fight an ideological warfare with physical combat? Do you fight somebody who has not actually shot? It's like you see somebody who is giving you cyber attack and you are fighting that person with physical warfare. It doesn't make sense. You match energies. You go into the right battle. If there's somebody giving you cyber attack, you use cyber security against the person. If somebody brings boots on ground, then you send your foot soldiers. If somebody gives you naval warfare, then you send your ships. If somebody gave you aerial warfare, you send your air force. You don't go and use an ideology of civil disobedience and you are bringing military on ground to go to their house and bring them out. Even today, that is Monday, people are still sitting at home because the ideology is that Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against Hausa people. Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against Yoruba. Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against Igbo. Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against South. Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against even Chief Wazirike from Ujmaso. Nnamdi Kanu is speaking against UK, America, everybody. So the people are saying the guy to be a non-political actor. And already they have left. See, a lot of Igbos have left Nigeria mentally. They are in Nigeria. If they travel, they have to use Nigerian passport. But they don't believe they belong to Nigeria. Now, how do you start solving that problem? The way Tinubu made some Igbos ministers, it's a good start. The way Tinubu put an Igbo man, whether he's from Kogi or Enugu, as naval this thing, it's a good start. Now, also, if Peter Obi wins and Peter Obi becomes president, he's an Igbo man, it's a good start. That is how you bring people back. You don't bring people back forcefully. You don't see a wife that wants to leave your house because he doesn't feel like the marriage is okay for her anymore. And you can bring gun to his father's house and say, you must follow me home today or I shoot you. You are fighting a useless fight. The next time she has a chance, she will run further than you can find her. So we need to apply a very simple logic. Yes, I know that Soludo and Peter Mba has gone to speak to federal government about release of Nnamdi Kanu and they refuse. The court have said to him to get a medical professional under Tinubu and he has instructed DSS to allow that. So he's seeing a medical distance now. Now we have another issue. There's an autopilot, Simon Ekpa, enforcing what people don't know. IPOB is saying no. This one is saying yes. So there's confusion. But that's what happens when you allow things to linger. This sit at home has been in place for years. This is something that's supposed to be curbed initially. And when things stay too long like this, what you now find out is that nobody will understand the problem anymore. It's like now, God forbid now, should anything happen to Nnamdi Kanu now, do you envisage the kind of problem that will come out from it? Would you think you will have only Simon Ekpa to worry about? So this is the things that people need to sit down and discuss. What importance is Nnamdi Kanu to federal government of Nigeria? What importance is keeping that single guy in custody? What importance is it to you? What harm can it make to the federal government if they release him? Simple pros and cons. Analyze it. Yes, he will go to radio and talk, which is what he has been doing. Yes, he's telling people to shoot or telling people to go and do this one or telling people to go and do that one. But you've been killing those people, yes? You've been fighting them and matching them with the battle on ground. So why again are you keeping him when it is affecting your economy? I've said it. If the sit at home is not stopped, £1 will be close to 2,000. In fact, even before December, you will do £1 to 2,000 naira. You won't have those who are the industrious, the business-minded people, the business-oriented people sitting down on the first day of the week. Every blessed week. Sometimes 1 week sit at home. Now I heard that they are saying 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 bloody weeks. 14 days sit at home in Enugu. So the more you fight these people, the more that... See, these people are losing their brothers, their sisters, their sons, their children, their mothers to these people. And what do you achieve when you kill somebody's brother and he knows the Nigerian army or Nigerian police shot him? He will have more reason. That is why sometimes insurgency anywhere in the world doesn't end. Because people will now start fighting based on revenge rather than ideology. You will think they started with ideology, but then at some point it will turn to revenge. At some point it will be so muddled, it will become difficult. And that's why sometimes it's very, very good to do things by dialogue. And that is what Peter Obi told you he would do. Dialogue with these guys. Discuss and find. I like what people did by inviting, what do you call it? Asele Dokubo. Now, Ansel Dokubo is now feeling like he's so important. He was saying in one video that he will be the president of Nigeria. If he knew what Tinubu have to spend in dollars to become the president of Nigeria, I don't know where Ansel Dokubo kept that kind of money to go and bribe your way all the way to go and be the president. But anyway, let's take that one as a foolish talk. But at the same time, when these kind of things happen, you have to use non-kinetic approach. Dialogue with people. Everybody have a stake in Nigeria. Everybody is Nigerian. Good, bad, ugly. Both 419 people, Yahoo people, prostitutes people. Everybody is Nigerian, including your pastors. Everybody is Nigerian. If people are bad, yes, they are Nigerians. You have to deal with it. Every country have their own. Every country have their own. So how do we deal with this issue? First thing first, the biggest underlying problem with Nigeria is corruption. I've said it before. Nigeria will not work because we are not one people. We are an amalgamation. Now, the only thing that linked us very good, the only time that nobody will think about, I am Igbo, I am Hausa, I'm Yoruba, I'm from Efik, I'm from Benin, is when there is corruption. When everybody is stealing. When everybody is, sort of joined together in crime. When everybody have oil in their hands or debt in their hands. That's when everybody will play as one and everybody will be Naija. That's why sometimes if you come in a criminal gang, you meet one Yoruba, two Igbo, two Yoruba, or one Hausa, one Yoruba, one Igbo, everybody will mix. Because people like to do evil things and keep their mouth shut. But when it comes to good thing, when it comes to selecting who is going to work for us, who is going to do it, then everybody will become wherever their tribe is from. Nobody wants to be Nigerian. So we need to deal with corruption. And when we deal with corruption, we set up our constitution and the government the best way it will work for us. And return back to what the British have left for us to do, left for us as a government. Let us have the regional place, regional government. Decentralize a lot of powers that the central has. Decentralize it. Where is the state police that Tinubu said he will put in? We're waiting for that to happen. Do you understand? So, at the end of the day, why is a governor inviting military when there is no warfare? Is there any existential threat to Enugu? Is there anybody challenging Nigeria that you are sending military armored cars to go to Enugu? Will that scare people more or make people more assured that you are looking after them? This is not something you do. You don't do it that way. You don't do it that way. You don't do it that way. Where is our investigative journalists? Where are they? Our judiciary, can we say we trust our judiciary? Can we say that our judiciary is free from any fear or favor of the executive? Be it the governor, president, or any executive for that matter. These are the real issues that we must address before Nigeria can move forward. If we do not address corruption, both in our oil, in our minerals, in our mining, in our government, in our civil service, in even all the other day, Soludo sacked a company that he gave contract to build a road. That is what we want to see. But even Soludo himself has gone in there, started building complexes, secretariats for Apaga. You see, the problem with our governors is that when they get into power, they stop playing people's politics. When they are doing campaign, they will play people's. See, this is the process. When you want to come out as governor, you start playing party politics. They bring you out. Then you start playing people politics and you win election. Then you go back to playing party politics. You are supposed to stay on people politics. Yes, democracy is party, then people, and then back to party. But at the same time, people are more important than all those rich people in your elites in your party. Because when the people are happy, even your party members are part of the people. They are a sample from the people. So we need to understand Anambra needs more than just the secretariat you built in Oka. Let's develop the place. Instead of knocking down people's houses and shops without giving them a permanent place to go or even supporting them in this hardship, why not build the flyover somewhere else? Why not build other things? The whole Southeast, no railway, no road, no federal road. You are knocking down people's shops, destroying people's investments, houses, everything. Nothing wrong with government building bridges or flyovers, but at the same time, do things sensibly. There's too much hardship in the land. Why am I saying this? If we must get things right, there is a very, very long way from promised land as far as Nigeria is concerned. Very, very long way. And unfortunately, our political class, our elites are not thinking like Nigerians. They are not Nigerians. They are global citizens. Once you make money and you can buy a house in London, buy a house in America, buy a house in Germany, man, you are a global citizen. Your passport is nothing. As far as you have money, you can afford it, fly a private jet, they will give you license. They will give you visa. If a country allows you to buy property and you invest, they can even give you entrepreneurial visa. Some of these people, their children are here, they are spending big bucks. Their accounts have a lot of money. They matter to government better than you that is here. The government even know them, know their name and their surname more than they know you claiming to be British. There are Nigerians that are more powerful, even in Nigeria, from Nigeria, than you that you claim that you are British and you're here working for pounds. That's one thing we need to understand. And because they've actually seen Nigeria, so the way they look at Nigeria is like a farm. They come and cultivate during the time of harvest, they come and harvest. And this is the language they speak to these people when they are trying to encourage them to come and invest. When you see Oyibo for Transcorp Hilton up and down, they do meeting. What do you think they are doing? They are selling your backyard. You don't even know. Some of you have not been to your village. You don't even know what is happening. If there is a mineral in your village that is being mined, you don't know nothing. Unless you have that information and you are in that class. And these guys don't care if Nigeria goes to fire, burns down to ashes. No, they don't care. Their families are safe. They can fly out any second. So we need to look for leaders who love the country, who love the land. You look at an American sees himself to be very, very patriotic. An American loves America even more than his family. If he needs to go to war for America, he will go to war and then hope his family is fine. And he will only find out when he comes back. Which Nigeria won't go war for Nigeria? Nigeria has not fought any war with any country before for us to test our military. All these things, what they throw weight up and down. Now just internal this thing, they go, they slap the people, they do coffee. Do you support these 2 weeks sit at home? Am I mad? Am I mad? Why will I support 2 weeks sit at home? Then when we go to do the other same, I can't ask, what thing be the even IPOB self no support the thing? They ask me whether I support it. How can anybody support it? How can you possibly support it? Yes, it is affecting Nigeria as a country. Yes, it is hitting on the economy, but you're hitting yourself. As only Jim Madden. People are suffering. Suffering. The thing with Nigeria is that our agility, our tenacity, like our tenacity, our strength is so much that no matter what is thrown at us, we will still be surviving. We will still be struggling. But honestly speaking, if no Igbo they go through what they go through, they for don't give up since the whole country for don't mad. We don't support it. I don't support it. But the problem is not people coming out to do business. The problem is for federal government to allow the judiciary to be free. Allow our press to be free. Can David Hundeyin come back to Nigeria now and work free? As an investigative journalist, if he lands now, they will pick him quick. Because he has revealed a lot of things. But that's what South Africa did for them to arrive. Look at South Africa going into direct alliance with Russia, with Brazil, with China. You know what? See, you guys don't understand something, though. Say we dey move, say we no one get sense. No mean say everybody go there with us for where we do. I ask people, When they enter my Uber, I always ask them this question. What is your exchange rate to the pound? And guess what? Egypt is about 34 Egyptian pounds to UK pounds. South Africa is like 30 something as well, either 35 or 36. South African rands to the British pounds. Even Libya. So when it comes to Nigeria, we are already going close to Zimbabwe money. We are 1,100. See, people don't understand. So some African countries have gone far. Going far. Do you know that South Africa has nuclear weapon? Even though America is trying to make sure that, they denuclearize them, they have nuclear reactors that power the whole nation. We don't have power. I told it to the man. The man said, what are you doing about it? I said, man, I'm a podcaster. I share my knowledge online. What else can I do? I don't have military training. I don't work in intelligence. I don't work in governorship. I don't work in president's house. I wish I can, though. I wish I can talk some sense into these guys. The world is moving, progressing. Come to London. Places you visit 5 years, come back again. Wow. Development go wow you. Nigeria. If you see person who never travel before, say for example, you don't die about like 10 years, you can't go. Ask the person how they feel when they come back. They go tell you, say they are disappointed. Things are looking shabby and rubbish. South Africa and Nigeria no be mate, my brother. But it's not supposed to be so. He told me the only problem they are having right now is to understand the power of allowing other countries to come and stay. To have that diversity in their population. So he was speaking against xenophobia, which is a very sensible man speaking. Yeah? So, of course, if you look at this UK now, UK is so smart that they've made the system tight, but then allow other people to run it. So you have a sense of belonging. The mayor of London, India, Prime Minister, India. But don't think that they are there to do whatever they like. No. No, now. It's still an Oyibo country. It's a British man's country. Are you getting me? So South Africans need to allow other countries to allow. Look at what Kenya did. I told him. South Africa, Kenya, Rwanda, even Gambia. These guys are leading the way in Africa. Challenging. Look at Macron that they did, what do you call it? He did a conference for African countries. Even Russia doing it. These guys are fighting. Like Africa is like the hot baby. Everybody wants to, even China, everybody wants to come into Africa. But Africans, why? Even we're supposed to be the most intelligent of the whole Africa, where everybody respects. We are taking the back seat because we don't get sense. We don't get sense. That guy in Germany supporting Sister Tom is probably working every Monday. Who is the guy in Germany that's supporting Sister Tom? In as much as you are against it at home, be also against the Nnamdi Kanu being held in captivity or being in custody. You're supposed to release the guy. Because that will solve a lot of issues. If you release Nnamdi Kanu, either to a governor, right? Or, I don't know, there's nobody higher than governor now. It has to be a governor. Either release it to the two governors who have requested, and then nobody will have reason for that. See, you don't understand when they say power to the people. When they say the people has power, it's serious business. If the people see that Nnamdi Kanu is released, they will open their shops. You can't do nada. Samaneba will even shut up. Who is Samaneba? Nobody will listen to him. But because you are holding him, although the person he claims to be fighting for is saying, you are not fighting for me, since that home should be stopped. Samaneba is still going on. Do you know why? Nnamdi Kanu probably planned that any day he goes into custody, this and this and this should take place. And he might be following order. He might even have told Samaneba saying, man, even if I tell you to release me, don't release me. Or if I tell you to do this, don't do this, continue what you are doing. He might have given him that direct order. And now maybe Nnamdi Kanu is feeling the pain. His body is failing him. He wants to stop it, but maybe he can't stop it. But whatever it is, if you want to solve this problem, you can't use kinetic energy. You can't use boots on ground. It's an ideological problem. You have to convince people you are working. You have to convince people you care about them. And that is not about you telling military to come and push them to come and do business. No. Ask the people what they need. If they need road in the market, do it. If they tell you they need power, provide power. Buhari have signed for every state to produce their own power. What is Peter Mba doing to provide uninterrupted power in Enugu? Even the water he said he will provide another 100 days. How many days remain? Where the water they run? Misplace priorities. Face front and do what you're supposed to do. Look at Alex Oti in Abia. Constructing road everywhere. Do you think if Alex Oti tell Abba people to do something, they will not do it? That is the way to go. That is the way to go. I don't want to waste a lot of time. The biggest problem facing Nigeria is corruption. And the day all of us sit in the same table, or on the same table, and say that we want to end corruption, regardless of who is the beneficiary, regardless of how, and again, let all these people who hold money for Nigeria, let them agree, everybody sit around, you see all them, Dangote, them, all these people who get money, bring all of them for table. Agree to take 20% loss. Government cannot run without the elites. Get all the elites in Transcorp or wherever, or even at Sorok. Invite all of them. Everybody sit down. You guys are the movers and shakers of the economy. Let everybody agree to take 20% loss and let's help this economy grow back. Pay all your workers more money. Raise the standard of living. Let all the minimum wage be 50,000 minimum. Pay everybody and take loss. Let money drop from the rich, the super rich, let it drop into the poor, and let the economy start moving. Everybody will have higher spending power. That is how you move an economy. You see the naira will start going up. People will have reason to go to work. People will go and spend money. People will drink. People will eat. People will do things. Before you know it, money will come back again. How do you think you run an economy before? Why do you think British government is going to give benefits to people? Those are the spending power. Those are what moves businesses. Those are who patronizes other things. That's how money rotates. Money is not meant to be packed in one account of a big man. Money is meant to be exchanging hands, rotating. It is the volume of the transaction that makes the economy go up. Now you see people trekking in Nigeria up and down. Nobody wants to go anywhere. They're going to calculate money for fuel. And you tell me economy won't do well. How economy won't do well? We are going on a bad trajectory. Tinubu is a genius. Tinubu is a genius. Look at the nonsense he's doing. Releasing them, they can deal with corruption and do these things I just said. Before you know it, you'll be the best president everybody knows. But you don't have it in you. You don't have vision. So please, we are begging our judiciary, do the right thing. Let people be. The man will get sense. Person will get vision. Person will go solve at least 80% of Nigeria's problem. At least 80%. A man who went to study about something countries before coming to ask you for the job. Not somebody that say, Miloko. If we don't do the right thing, we'll keep wallowing in our ignorance. Where countries like South Africa are doing mega strides. If you don't know, South Africans produce guns, ammunitions. They are not siding Russia just by matter. They are following it through. South Africa is becoming a strong economy. They have always been the number one anyway. Egypt is coming up strong. Kenya is coming up strong. Kenya have now allowed a free visa policy. Their president just did it. Nigeria is just opening their border with Niger recently. Let's do the right thing. Let our press have freedom to say anything and investigate everybody. Let the state allow the citizens to do things. Allow the judiciary to carry out and obey judgment themselves. Because you are an administration does not mean you should sit above the law. This is where I stop. If South Africa can prosecute their president and it actually goes into jail, that tells you the kind of democracy South Africa is practicing. We don't say because they have Africa in their name, or they the same brain power with them. We don't get sense for Nigeria. We're supposed to be having public-private partnership. Water is a right every Nigerian should have. Power is a right everybody in Nigeria should have. Good roads. We are still in dark ages. Other people are flying to the space, having interterrestrial holidays. Within Nigeria, they do mumu because some of our rich people, elites, belong to that class anyway. So they feel like they are exonerated and they allow their home, their motherland, to go into shambles. Posterity will judge everybody. Thank you so much and bye for now.